Hi guys, so here I am back in front of the camera, which I swore I was never going to do again. A very long time ago, I all of a sudden had this idea that I need to share my learnings of Tomer Devorah with the world out there. And I kept on procrastinating and pushing it off because I am not a teacher and I am really scared to do this. But I feel that I have a huge amount of hakaras hatov HaKadosh Baruch Hu for connecting me to the Sefer, the Ramak, his teachings, and it's something that I try to live my every single day life by, and it really has gotten me through some big struggles. And if I could help some other people out there learn ways to cope, then I feel that I have a very strong obligation to do so. So I'm overcoming my fears. I am putting myself out there, and I am finally sitting down and pushing myself out of my comfort zone. It started my journey with the Ramak and Tomer Devorah many years ago. I have this amazing Rebbitzin in Sackett Lake. Her name is Devorah, who I don't even remember how it came up, introduced me to Tomer Devorah, and she's like, you have to buy this book. It's amazing. We'll learn it together. I bought the book. We never learned it together, but I kept on learning it and buying every book they printed. And I listened to every single one of Eli Mansour's Shiurim on Torah, and I sort of became like a Tomer Devorah junkie. At the time, I was going through one of the hardest things in my life. It wasn't that someone was not well. It was an outside source decided that it will bring them great joy to bring me great pain. And I very much didn't want to become a statistic and another culprit and another victim of this person's struggles and unwellness. So I realized that I need to work really hard on controlling my mind to control my heart, to not let this person overpower my happiness. And I started really living by the way the Ramak gives over his Torah. And I learned how to overcome this person's negativity and not let it control my life. And it was really hard. And I still am really bad at it. My nature is to be angry and to be reactive and to be hot-headed and hot-tempered and all the hot stuff. And it is against my nature to be calm and sweet and soft-spoken and bachinedek. No, I am an Israeli New Yorker. I am aggressive. And it was very hard for me to be able to apply this to my life. I very, very much still fail. But recently, my family went through something very, very hard and tragic. And it wasn't, again, Baruch Hashem, no one was sick. But again, an outside force decided that their greatest joy would be our greatest falling apart. And I woke up every morning, and I chose every morning to be a Tomer Devorah Jew. And 1,000 times during each day, I had to choose to be a Tomer Devorah Jew. I know I never would have succeeded in even 5% of what I was able to achieve because of the years of practice I had with trying so hard to be a Tomer Devorah Jew. And when that skufa of our life was over and these people were still trying so hard to destroy us, and my husband wanted to call them up and say, stop doing whatever it is that you're doing, and I said, no, don't respond, because that's their unwellness and we're just feeding into it, and just be quiet and let it play out. And that's what he did. And I know I never would have been able to not respond and even forgive these people for what they did to me if I didn't know that everything is from Hashem, and Hashem controls everything, and everybody is a puppet of what Hashem puts in front of us. And I feel so blessed that I could look back at that experience with my head held high and be proud of the person that I was through that experience. And I still fail tremendously at many other things in my life, and that's the avoda in every single day, trying really hard. It is not easy. So I'm going in Hashem to be trying to put together over the next few weeks 2-minute videos on the 13 attributes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the Ramak puts in a format in his Sefer. I'm going to expand on it a little bit. I'm going to try to do 2 to 3 classes for each midah. I'm going to also do something that most teachings that you could find of Tomer Devorah online don't delve into. I'm going to try to bring in the spheros that are relevant to each midah, and I'm going to also bring in the next parts of Tomer Devorah, not just Parak Aleph, the 13 midos, into the teachings throughout the videos to give a little context into the Kabbalistic side, which I find just amazing. I'm not referencing any specific one of the books that are out there. I think that this is a great place to start. There's the elucidated one. There's this one by Rabbi Victor Miller. The elucidated one is also great to read with your kids. And then there's this one, which is fabulous. And then there's a bunch of other ones. So if you've never heard of Tomer Devorah and the Ramak, which I know that is something very common. I've had a girl say to me, I learn Igeras HaRamban every Shabbos, so why do I have to learn Tomer Devorah? And I'm like, Igeras HaRamban is very nice, but Tomer Devorah expands on Igeras HaRamban. So if you've never heard of it, you could go to your local Svarim store, pick up one of the few books that are in print, and you could follow with me along this journey. And I hope at the very end we could go to Tzfat and do a siyum at the Ramak's Kever and the Ari and Rabbi Shlomo Kabetz, his brother-in-law, who wrote the Chadodi, and maybe be zocha to not want to punch every single person in the face. It upsets us. Thank you so much. Have a great day.